Hey, welcome back to the channel. I had to go to Aircraft Spruce this morning and I was short on 4-17 bolts, which I needed for right here. So I went and picked up some more of those as well. I needed some cleaner. I needed some metal surface cleaner that I can use to prep my metal for priming. Flying Cub asked me a question about what I'm using. I'm actually going to be using the aviation zinc phosphate primer in this green color, and that'll be for all of my metal parts, including my control stick and everything inside the cockpit. And so what I'm going to work on today, I was going to go to the strut tubes since I have all of this prepped and ready to go, but what I discovered is I thought I had enough of this 3/4 inch by 0.100 4130. There are 4 brackets that are used to attach. They're part of the front strut assembly, and I didn't have enough. So what I've done is if you order it from Aircraft Spruce, it only comes in 1.5 inches. What we need is 3/4 inches wide, and Online Metals is actually a really good place to get this because they will, in 12-inch long lengths or whatever length you need, basically by 3/4 inches wide, they'll actually shear it for you and send it to you. So I ordered 2 pieces at 12 inches long. It was about $15 to get those cut to the size I needed and sent to me. So I'll have those on Wednesday, and then I'll be able to continue with the struts. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use the measurements that I have on the other side here for where the bottom of the wing is. I'm going to bring my template over. I'm going to go ahead and make the holes in the side of the fuselage here. I've got the wing ready to go on. So I'm doing just everything I can to get ready. But as far as sequencing goes, I'm going to do the struts on this side. I'll double check everything again, but right now everything's sitting where the incidence is the same at the root as it is at the tip, and the wing is sitting at a 3-degree dihedral angle. And so I want to get the strut tubes installed on this side, and then I'm going to switch over and bring my stands over here and put a couple of I'll put some kind of a block of wood or something under this end so that I don't lose my level on my fuselage. So I'll block this wing up, remove the stands, bring them over here, get the left wing, and come around here and get that one installed too. So, but today I'm going to work on this. So I'm going to work on the windscreen. Nothing's standing in the way of that, so I'm going to figure out what kind of an angle I need here. And it's about 4, I had it figured at about 3 to 4 inches forward, but I'll kind of scale that again. I kind of like how it shows in the picture here, this rake forward right here, and I'm just going to kind of take some measurements and scale that out and figure out what that is, and then we'll just use the square, the framing square off of our center line, and just bring it up here at that distance, and we'll get that in place. And once I get that, making these 2 brackets right here, and those are what hold this in place. So we'll get this sanded to the right angle once we get that established, and then we'll use our brackets to get it mounted to the fuselage. See if we can keep that in place. And then I also bought some 4130 1/4" steel rod today to make the pins here, the locking pins. So I'll make those as well. And that way I don't have to use bolts. I can just push the pins in there. So I'm gonna drill. I've got these. I've got my center punch marks here already. I'm gonna drill these out for 3/16 holes, I do believe. Yep, 3/16. We're using actually we're using the 1032R 20s for this, so I've got some of those. But then on the fuselage side, we're actually using a 14A. Yeah, let me get those drilled out anyway. I don't know why I got confused there. It's an AN3-14A and an AN 526 1032R 20. So I've got both of those over here ready to go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is drill these out and then finish shaping them after I drill them. And then we can go to the fuselage over there. We'll get the angle set and we'll just go through all this stuff. All right, cool. All right, so I've done my math, and that point, where that actually is 2 1/4 inches back from this edge right here. So that puts it right there. I'm just gonna stand that up, and that puts it 4 inches forward. I'm just gonna kind of center it up on the marks here, and then lean it forward. Looks like I have to swap my clamps around for now. Take care of that real quick. Gonna put another clamp on that side before I release that. Now we can do this. 2 1/4. It's right there. That means this is going to come forward that far. And I just want to get a feel for how much I have to sand this. Probably 3/16 of an inch off of the front side. That is flat, so you can see what I'm up to here. This is flat, and when I move that forward to the right point, I've got a gap in the back, so I actually have to level this off. It's about 3/16 of an inch, so I'm going to start there. And this is my front side, back side. This is my back side, that's the front side. So we have to just take this to the sander and remove some material until we get this to fit just right. All right, this is just a lot of trial. Trying it and checking the fit, and then trying it some more until we get it just right. Shoot for this 2 1/4, which is right there. This one on this side is actually really close. And this one over here needs a little more. All right, so I got these right like they should be. So they fit really good now. And I'm just using my clamp here to kind of hold my square. And I needed just a little weight on this side, just for the moment. And now I can actually come in and get my brackets bent to fit this angle right here. So I'm gonna, the bracket actually goes right here, and you can see I've got my center line drawn, which is the middle of my block that we buried in this system earlier. So I'm just centering up on the tube here, and I'm just off the inside, just barely, like less than maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And so I'll just center up both tubes. I'll get these bent where they fit. I've got them right here. So we just come in here and bend this until we can hit the center of the tube, and we can hit and we're flat on here, and then we'll end up drilling and mounting this in place. Once we get that mounted, then we can jump to getting this first piece of the front part of the windscreen in place. And once we get the front one in, then we can measure and figure out what the two side pieces are going to be. So okay, let me start working on bending these and change batteries in the camera. All right, so I got my two brackets bent here, and they you can see how they fit up against there. So let's see, they're kind of side specific, so yeah, that one's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where this hole is here, and on the center of the tube. So I'm just going to make myself a mark here on the center of the tube. So I just bent these with in the vise. You can see I've got a center line on here, and just line that up with the vise. Took a small sledgehammer, bent it over, and made sure I wasn't on a really sharp corner, and it's pretty simple. The 4130 doesn't bend too bad, so it's not really hard. I'm pretty sure I've got a 3/4 tube here, so gotta go 3/8. 3/8 to the middle. It's about where I thought it was. And then we're just going to line up our bracket right where it centered up on that, where the hole is centered up on my line, right there. And then I'm just going to put my pen in here and make a circle. So I can see where my center mark is. Then I'm going to take the center punch, and I'm going to put it right in the middle. Punch myself up in the center there. Just kind of line this back up. Now the bracket, going to be drilling this hole at an angle, so I want to follow the angle of the bracket. So first I'm just going to get it started, and we'll get through the first layer, and then I'll come over to the side and just double check that I'm following I'm 90 degrees to the bracket, and then we'll drill the backside. Alright, since I'm going 90 degrees to the tube here, I can actually go over to my V block, and I can drill this out thinking about it. I don't want to miss this. This is my, here. This is my left top piece. Let's keep track of these. And then we'll make this one the right top. And I'll go around to the other side and I'll get that marked. All right, so we will drop our tube in here. Oh, we gotta lower a little bit. So we gotta do this, get this lined up again. Now when we drop our tube in here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it started. And I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna just sight down the edge here and make sure it's 90 degrees. Then we know we're going where we need to. So. So pull this down so I got some tension, and then we'll put my level on here. Right there. And then we'll do the other side. All right, I'll clean these holes up and we'll go over there. All right. Alright, we're all set there. Alright, I'll put a nut on that. See if I need anything else on the back side there. Nope. Just enough. All right, so I got this. I got these nice and flat now, where everything is sitting where it should be. And now I'm going to come and just do like I've done before, and I'm just going to make a starter hole here and make sure I'm on my line. So it should be right there. Alright, then we'll slide this out of the way. Make myself another block to help me go straight through. Nothing in the way. right, so let's get a bolt through this one. AN14, 14A, all the way through, washer, and a nut. And we'll just leave that loose for the moment while we go do the other side. Now it'll just hold itself there. All right, so now we got that bolted in place. I've just got to get a few things out of the way here. And then we will figure out where we're going. All right, so the width up there is 10 inches, of course. And our width down here is I believe we were about 15 1/4 down here. So for this, I'm going to actually have to get the instrument panel back in. I need to get the instrument panel just temporarily back in place because one thing we want to make sure is that we're clearing it. We got to figure out what lines we're going to. I believe I have them marked off correctly. All right, so we'll just throw that in there just to make sure we have this correct, that we are going to come out to here, and that will miss the panel, which it does. So just making sure. So this one comes from here down to right here, up to here. And on a center line, it's 25 5/8 of an inch on the center line. 25 3/4 actually would probably be better. Yeah. So it will be 25 3/4. We're going to taper from 10 inches, exactly 10 inches. Let me check that measurement again. Something changed. What was it? Quarters. Okay. 25 3/4. All right, so we're 25 3/4, and we taper from 10 inches down to out, or actually up to, not down to, 15 1/4. 25 and 3/4, 10, 15 and 1/4. And 3/4, 10 to 15 and 1/4. All right, let's get a piece of Lexan and let's figure this out. All right. All right, I can't go this way because I've got, this is a 24 by 48 piece. So I've got to go my 25 and 3/4 piece has to go long ways, so that's going to take me just over halfway, and then my other two pieces, let's see here. They're also going to be over 24 inches. And they're going to be triangles. About 16 and a half, 25, 16 and a half. So, probably don't have enough material. What happened was I ended up buying a second piece because I didn't notice this until I got it home. But there are scratches in it, like really deep scratches, almost all the way across here. And there's another one here, and it's actually pretty gouged, pretty bad there. Not something I want to use for a windscreen, so could probably flip it over and end up using these for fuel compartment covers, because those are less than 24 inches, and the scratches on the other side won't really make any difference, but it appears as though I'm going to need some more. But let's get the first piece anyway and see what happens. So we'll center up the first piece. Center up this first piece here, and we'll get exactly 24. So. We're going to go 25 and 3/4. 25 and 3/4, right there. Here. 15.25 is 7.5 and an 8. 7 5/8. And right here, I'll get this one marked out at 7 5/8. 5/8 right there. Come on this end, and we're going to go 5 inches. So we're going to mark off 10, so we go 5 and 10. And we're going to taper from that. This. Right. This one right here. All right, so that's the front. That's the front windscreen. And from that, I can see that there's no way to get more out of that. So we're going to take it that far, and now I'm going to stop until I can get some more. It won't be any problem to get a couple more pieces pretty quickly. It's kind of I can get it just about anywhere around here. So I didn't check and make sure this was all square, but it is. So all right. So I'm just going to use the steering arm as a guide here. To actually I can't, because I can't get through that. What I have to figure out is where to make my slots, and it shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad to make those. Let's keep you up there. Let's see what we have for a distance here. So we're centered 2 inches back from this edge here, so let me start by getting myself a little reference line. So it's about here. And I'm 2 inches back of there. So it puts us about here. So that's kind of the center of it right there. So let's just say in straight line distance, we are 1, 2, 3, about 4 3/8. from the center line. So we'll remember that on the other side, 4 3/8. And then we have to get the distance here, how far down before we hit the plywood, which is right there. Well, I know it's going to be this plus an 8. And then we're up an 8 from there. I know I'm doing a bunch of math here, but that's okay. So it's actually right there. So it's about 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch down from here. So what we'll do is we'll just drill ourselves a small hole with a 1/16 inch bit or something, and just make sure that we're on it. So let's just drill through right there. And then we'll take a look in here and see where we are. So that is almost exactly where we need to be. Maybe just a touch up from there. So now we can make ourselves a mark here. We'll set the square so we know where to draw our line on the other side. And now I'm going to grab the plan real quick so I can get a feel for how big a slot we need to make. From that point, we've got the thickness of a washer because the washer sits on the plywood there. So that's going to sit there. So our slot's going to be up about a 1/16 of an inch. I'm thinking 3/4 inches either side of the center mark. Should get it done. So. And what's the bottom of my slot? I'm going to go up. So 3/4 inches. We'll just see how that works out. All right. Readjust this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got my slot marked out here, and I'm just going to take my drill bit here. I've drawn the lines all the way around, but I'm going to take my drill bit and I'm going to drill through right at either end in the middle. And then I use my Dremel tool with a cutting bit on it, and I use a router thing on it so I can adjust this to where I want it to be. And then what I'll do is I like to hold this. We're gonna need some additional light, so 1 second. I can see my lines. The way this works best for me, I just have to hold this nice and tight so that it doesn't wander off. And then I just take out the slot. So see how these measurements work out. to do first is just go right down the middle of my slot, and then I come back and slowly work up to the edge. Because if you just try and run the edge the first time, your bit may run off on you and wreak some havoc. So I don't want that. Just going to put the washer in there and see if I'm sitting on the top of it. I'm going to need to be just a little bit lower. I don't like to do this without guardrails, so I'll just come back and make myself another pencil line, and that will help a lot. Help me see where I'm going. Now that's good. Now I've got almost the whole washer above, so I know I've got good clearance on the bottom. About a 1/16 of an inch probably. And now I'll hop to the other side, and I'll do the same thing. And then we'll go to the next step. All right, so we got the all the components here, and I've got the hole in the other side. And I'll show you what's happening. So I'll tell you what we're doing before I do this. So I've got the steering arm here. It's got this 1/4 inch hole, which is for a rod end bearing here. And it's got the other 2 holes are for the cable leads that come back here for the steering. And what happens is we have a washer on the bottom. We're going to be putting a big AN4 washer on the bottom, and then this sits on top of that washer, like so. Then there's a 3/32 bushing that's made out of 4130 tubing. Then that's going to go in, and then we're going to get another washer on top of that. I'm asking myself a question now. Oh, I see that can't slip through, so okay, good. All right. Yeah, I'm all good. And then we put the nut back on. So right now, I'm just trying to get the nut off. All right, we got that in. We get our bushing in. And then get a washer on the top. Once we get to driving back through here. All right, and washer on the top, and then put our nut on. Alright, so our bushing is going to have to be a little bit bigger because it's just tightening down too much. So, but we'll work on that. For now, I'm just going to leave this. And the reason is because I want to put this on. And I want to be able to, we'll figure out how much distance we need here to go. And I can already tell it's got to be more. More toward the back, especially. I think the front might be okay. We just got to go more toward the back. So we'll have to move back maybe a 1/4 of an inch on each side. And but at least now I can get my other thing on here. I can measure my distance from my rod, and then I'm gonna take that and have somebody thread the ends for me. There's a machine shop really close to here who can do that for me, so much easier than me trying to do it myself. All right, so I've got to get a little bit bigger bushing. All right, so thanks for hanging out with me. You know, I appreciate it, and that's it for me today. And I'll pick up some more Lexan so we can kind of get this windscreen thing rolling, and I'll make another bushing for this piece here. And I think I may stack 2 washers, but actually I'm probably okay. It looks like I just need a little thicker bushing, and then this will operate the way it should. But hey, at least I can get my my rod bearing in. I can get this all figured out, what the length of the rod needs to be and all that good stuff. So if you're not a subscriber, I invite you to hit the subscribe button and the little bell right next to it. That way you don't miss any of these episodes if you're enjoying them. And hey, I'll catch you later.